Be sure to go to flipsidegaming.com and use promo code 6 for 10% off on orders over $10. Do the same with the Grizzly Gentleman, 10% off at checkout on your fantastic beard products. Or you could shop via the TCG Player affiliate link in the description down below to help support the show. And last but of course not least, you can go to Grey Viking Games with the affiliate link below to pillage some sweet arena codes. Hey, what's up there, Planeswalkers? Thryx 6 back with more Magic the Gathering Arena. Today we're playing Temur Giants, aka the Clash of the Titans, Wrath of the Titans, whatever you want to call it. Something Titans. Anyway, this essentially is a kind of mid-rangey Temur deck that happens to use a lot of Giants to get some cool Giant synergies. We have some ramp-esque cards, we have some lower mid-range cards, and we have some high-end cards that can do some fun things. We're going to play this in best of 3 because I do prefer playing best of 3. Well, we'll talk about the cards as they come. Essentially, we want to play big dudes, and we want to kill people with our big dudes. That is dude spelled D-O-O-D-Z, or Z if you are definitely English, like from England, and Canadian. I don't know if the Aussies and the Kiwis say Z. I don't know. Got myself a good old-fashioned Dairy Queen Blizzard. Actually, it's pretty decent. My main gripe is that this only hits opponents or planeswalkers. Going against, okay. Thoughtseize makes me think this is Rakdos Arcanist. I think this is Rakdos Arcanist. I feel like it's more likely than Rakdos Sacker or Jun Sack or whatever. Okay. Essentially confirmed Arcanist. Confirmed Arcanist. They did miss a land drop though, so that's good. I'm not going to want to kill this. I'm just going to do this though, because I may want to Bonecrusher Giant. Next turn I can play Aegar. Unfortunate that I can't kill that. I want to save this. There's not really a reason for me to play it, I don't think. Growth Spiral. I'm not sure Growth Spiral is worth it. I think it's better for me to just cast Aegar here. So they can Thoughtseize me. They also rebuy the Claim. But the fact that they kept the one-lander is pretty good for me. Yeah, they're going to Thoughtseize. Take Tech Giant, maybe. Maybe they take Bonecrusher Giant, I'm not sure. But, I mean, this is a pretty easy block here. Yeah, they take the Bonecrusher Giant. Very reasonable. They just bring it right back, alright. Pretty sure the answer is just play the Tectonic Giant. I only have claims here, so... The question is, do I attack? I think I do. Because I only ever want to block this. I don't like that. Really? Okay. I have no way of killing this. So I really don't want to... So the issue here, right, is if I attack... Wait a minute. I don't remember how this works. This might be 3 CMC walls in the graveyard. So they might not be able to target with this. Converted mana cost. Yeah, the CMC of this card, anywhere except for on the stack, is 3. So I think I can actually attack here. Do I attack with both? They're gonna block here almost certainly. They might block here. I think I will. And I'm gonna deal 3 damage to my opponent. I'm just gonna try and kill them. They were stuck on one land. We got to kind of capitalize on that by being a bit aggressive. And I can flash in Thryx. I'd have to shock myself. I've taken a lot of damage from my lands, but my opponent's on 1, so that's fine. Deals excess damage. Whenever a creature or planeswalker an opponent controls is dealt excess damage. Yeah, so I get to draw 2 cards here. Okay, I don't have to take damage. It's very nice. So we could dead weight. So I'm just going to do this and end the turn. Now, what is worth? This is 3 mana, so if they have red source plus claim, that would be a little annoying. Yeah, red source plus claim plus village rights would be annoying, but my opponent has, like, no mana, so they have nothing that they can really do here. Don't keep one land. It's like never a good idea. We definitely bring in the Scoozes. I don't think Battle Frostpyre is worth it to bring in extra ones. I think Abrade might be. I think Ravenform probably is. And then we're going to cut some of our higher end cards. I think we cut the Surtlands. We keep the Squashes. Do we keep the Squashes? I think so. Crap, how am I going to cut cards from this? I still want the ramp with Beanstalk Giant. Did we cut these? Tombs East. The thing is, like, this is still good generally, but it doesn't hit Kroxa. I guess it hits everything else. Yeah. I do still need to keep, like, a certain amount of giants. I guess I'm still at 24 giants. At 24 giants? Really? Oh, a lot of giants. Probably don't need Aegar as much. I essentially want max removal and max grave hate. So maybe I cut one of these. Maybe I'll cut a Bonecrusher Giant, because it doesn't kill the main threat, which is Arcanist. Don't you love getting stuff in your beard? I know I'm eating in a video. Shut up. I do what I want. It's my channel. Well, they mulliganed, which is fun, but we technically have 2 playables. And then even if we don't draw a green source, we have a 3rd playable. My main fear here is mulliganing against a deck with maximum Thoughtseize is pretty bad. I'll keep his hand. It's a little greedy. I don't think it's as greedy as some of the other hands I've kept. My opponent mulliganed twice, which is pretty helpful for us, to be honest. Never didn't have it. Also, fuck. I spelled my blizzard. I don't think I play Scooz here. Alright, we just react. I think we just react. Next turn, I probably Beanstalk Giant, though. Ooh, they missed a line drop. We love to see that. So we do this. Play Beanstalk Giant. Blue. We have a red here. I'm just gonna get a red source, actually. I should have got a blue source. I'm dumb. Nah, red source is fine. It helps this come in tapped or untapped. Cool, they conceded. Sometimes you just win because your opponent's deck is made poorly. Oh gosh, what is this comment? Get rid of your mediocre planeswalkers and add in what? Get rid of your mediocre planeswalkers and add in Collected Company. Cocoa Poison is a thing. I mean, I could have done that, but I didn't. I didn't want to. I wanted to play the planeswalkers. Mars, I'm calling you out. I mean, not really. Like, the thing you gotta know. For what it's worth, Mars has only been subscribed for a week. The thing you have to kind of realize is that when I make decks, I don't try and make them optimized. I don't have the time for that. I try to make decks that I enjoy playing. And I really wanted to play with Vraska, and I really wanted to play with that Garrett, because I felt that Garrett does a really good job in the deck. So, sure, technically, in my Death Touch deck, I should have played Collected Company. I just didn't want to. What the fuck? Is rogues? I think it's rogues. I'm gonna kill your rogue. That crap out of my face. I did it now just so they didn't have a flyer to use, not Stubborn Denial. The fly one, I don't know. I'm going to play Hinterland Harbor and pass the turn. And I can Growth Spiral into Bonecrusher Giant if I want to. If I don't, I can Growth Spiral into Ketria Triome. Okay. So that results. I would like to blue, green, Growth Spiral. I'll just put this into play, I guess. And I will attempt to kill that. Goodbye. Rogues are nothing to giants. Giants are big, rogues are small. Next turn, I can play Bonecrusher Giant, and I can hold up Squash. And this might get countered. Or something, but... Oh, then they're gonna play the fly counter. Lofty Denial. Incredibly rude. Ooh. Interesting. I assume they have another counter spiel. Psych, can play Aegar, baby. You're gonna get domed. Just so you know. Unless they Brazen Borrow me. In which case that would suck. Prepare for pain. Draw first. Also showed me that they had no response there. 1, 2, 3. Put this in tapped. I can put this in untapped. I can activate this. I can grab this. I can squash. See if they want to block. Guess wash. And I'll draw. Next turn, I can Uro to make this potentially not big. No, because it's going to get, what, 2? Rogues are small, giants big. Let's have some disputes. Have some Abrades. Let's have some of those. This is good. This is good. Surtland Flinger, I keep taking you out. I love you. I really do. But you're more memey than the rest. Get rid of one of those. This is actually good. Fudge. This deck is too hard to cut things from. Everything serves a purpose. Why I oughta? That's just all I see in this art. I mean, I definitely want this. I want like all of these. This is also good. Like, this is just a board wipe. If it resolves. Which it should. Do I trim these? Do I trim this? Just like trim a lot of things? There's no way I trim the Bonecrusher Giant here. I'm going second. Maybe I don't want all 3 mystical disputes, and we'll I'm going second. I'll trim that. I'll change it if I need to. Were they always Ugin? I feel like they weren't Ugin. And turn 1 tapped. We get rid of Bonecrusher Giant here, I think. Turn 1, turn 2, turn 3. They have blue, or they have green in the deck? Why do you have green in the deck? What the heck's green for? They had nothing to instant the speed. I'm chilling. I'm the control in this matchup. My creatures are larger. Therefore, I can afford to wait. Wait. They don't love you like I love you. Wait. I would actually like to have this down. So I can double spell if need be. My opponent seems to literally not have anything at instant speed here. Very interesting. I guess I can just Uro here. I'd still only hold up 1. So actually, I don't think I Uro here. I think I just play this team defense tapped. I'm not in a rush. And I think that's something I have to remember when I'm playing this. And if they play something instant speed here, I don't kill it immediately. Because they could just get it back immediately with Uro. Not Uro, sorry, with Loris. Yeah. I'll let this resolve. I take the 1. I do not care. That's interesting. I don't know what I want to do here. 1, 2, 3, D4. I guess I could play Bearer and hold the Abrade for the Loris. I assume they're holding protection for Loris. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna do this. Yeah, that's a fine card to draw. Oops, didn't mean to do that. That's fine. Oops, I'm gonna mill the card. Oh well. Play it. Do it, coward. Do it, coward. This plays around Lofty Denial. Damn. Didn't play around that, though. I think I should play, a creature here. What? Was that an accident? Why would you do that? Do they have Aghanim's Awakening and they want to cast it? Oh, okay. Sure. That still makes very little sense to me, but okay. Well, their shields are down. I unfortunately didn't draw the card I was hoping to draw. This is literally the card I wanted to draw. But I think what at 1, 2, 3... Okay, so I think this is fine. I need to go into full control. It's better for attacks. Alright, so we'll do this. Auto pay. Resolve. Gain 3 life and draw a card. Alright, I want that to resolve first. Resolve. This has resolved. I will now squash the Lurrus. And I can take off full control. Cool, cool. And now next turn, I can reveal Thryx. Ah, this gets milled, I forgot. I forget about that. And they have more cards, which I also forgot about. Exactly what I wanted to see. But Uro is very helpful. Well, I don't like that. I do have Thryx, which can block it, potentially. And the first thing I do is cast Tech Giant. I'd have to hit an untapped land with Uro in order to do this and cast Thryx. Greed mode. I mean, I have this, but it doesn't do all that much. Damn you rogues! I need this to resolve. It has an okay resolving, an okay chance of resolving, because it doesn't get hit. Because I can pay for Lothar Denial, and drawing the lock doesn't work. So I can at least get rid of these two. And if I top deck an untapped land, I can play this and this. I didn't get a land here. We definitely cast this first. I can pay for both of the soft counters in the deck. I can pay for the soft counters. But so they have a drawing lock in hand based on the fact that they looked at my graveyard. Cool. It's a 2-for-1. I'm going to attack. I think I'm going to exile the top here. Well, fudge. Yep, I knew they had drawing lock. They brought in Cling to Dust against just Uro. It's the only card I have that cares about my graveyard. Three cards in hand, potentially four, potentially four. Doubt they want to do both. Yeah, that's fun. I don't have... I have one more battle, Frost and Fire. Crush doesn't even kill here. Crush. What the... We should do that thing again. Settings. Hide card? No, don't hide cards if none are in library. Okay, whatever. So we gotta concede. Removal. By the way, a viewer told me to put this in. It probably shouldn't be in the sideboard. I could play Scoos to eat my own graveyard, but I don't think that's great. Should I have been aggressive that game? Damn it. That's very unfortunate for me. No, I can't hold up Mystical Dispute. I guess next turn I can play Forest, Growth Spiral, Mystical Dispute. Would I rather Beanstalk Giant? No, I'd rather Beanstalk Giant. They should cast something here. I don't think they saw Mystical Dispute last game, right? LOL! Should've did it in response. Wait, why do they have green? Not a clue. They let me rebuy my Bonecrusher Giant as a stomp. Very interesting. This might get consumed. Or just countered. I think I'm fine with that. If for whatever reason they choose once again not to play things, then I guess the plan is just to Growth Spiral. Sure. It's very important to have things to do. I'll take the 2 life here. This way I have access to Thryx plus Ravenform. Notably, Thryx can be countered, but our future things can't be countered, which is fun. Go to end step. Yeah, this allows me... Oh, Ravenform's a sorcery for some fucking reason. Okay, no, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and load them up on their turn, so that they don't have mana open, so my Battle of Frost and Fire will resolve. Those are just, like, might let this resolve. Okay, they did. I actually should have only left creatures in there. And they conceded. Nice. Get bent, rogues! I hate you and everything that you stand for. Well, hey there, Billy! I sound like this not because I'm trying to, but because there's phlegm in my throat. I mean, I'm putting on a little bit of affectation, but, you know. Open up this kaldheim pack. Alright. And, not profile. Nope. And let's talk about the deck. So, the deck went well. Very similar to the Death Touch deck yesterday. We were able to get 2-0 here. We got 3 Invasion of the Giants. This is really nice early game to set up some of your bigger plays. You know, we are playing a deck that has some heavily skewed creature types here, or creature CMCs. So, Invasion being able to scry us into either lands or out of lands is quite good. I forgot to mute. Anyway, you get to draw a card, you reveal a giant, cool, like, whatever. You only get to hit an opponent or a planeswalker. I think I would have preferred if this just said creature or planeswalker. Then it would have worked with Aegar a little bit better. But also, like, it'd be helpful to have more removal as opposed to reach, potentially. I mean, for what it's worth, it is reach, but I would rather just have control in an early game. And then the next giant you cast this turn costs 2 less. As you can see, it's very helpful at just making your ability to play multiple things in a single turn better. Through Growth Spiral, it's ramp. What do you want me to say? You can do it instant speed. If you're planning on, you know, shock or stomping on something or casting Thryx, but for whatever reason you can't, you know, you worry that your opponent has counter magic or something like that, then you have Growth Spiral, which is always good. We're Bonecrusher Giants. It's a giant that sees play in non-giant decks. What else is there to say? It does what you need it to do. Has removal, has reach, doesn't have the keyword reach. It gives the deck reach. By the way, if you don't know what reach is, essentially reach is the idea, the concept that your deck has ways of killing an opponent who is at a relatively low life total. So, you know, mono white decks aren't known to have reach because they don't have things like haste, they don't have direct damage, things like that. Red decks, typically, you want to be worried about your life total because they could have reach, meaning that if they get you to like 5, they could kill you off the dome. Anyway, it also is just an annoying body. That was an email. Aegar, the Freezing Flame, he helps because he's another cheap creature that sticks around, which is helpful. And, of course, being able to overkill something is not terribly hard, especially in this metagame where there's things like a bunch of 1/1s running around. And a bunch of flying annoying dudes. You just get to draw cards, right? That's just what you like doing in Magic. You get to draw cards. Uro. It's Uro. It happens to be a giant. Wow. Calamity Bearer. 4 mana 3/4, you know, same essentially as Tectonic Giant. This one, it attacks as a 6-power creature. It's really good. That's really good. It's not easy to state how good this is. If you go Aegar into Calamity Bearer, this attacks for 6. Right, this just domes your opponent for 6. The following turn, you have 12 damage. Man, that adds up to 18 if your opponent shocked once, or you Bonecrusher Giant them on turn 2, for example. Your opponent's dead. Cool card. Tectonic Giant. I really love this card. I played it a bit in the Boros Death and Taxes deck because it has reach, and it allows you to get a bit more card advantage off of the second ability there. And what's nice is that, similar to Bonecrusher Giant, it has an ability that impacts when your opponent targets it, which is just really nice. Thryx, Sudden Storm. It's a giant. Its name is very similar to mine, which is frankly the main reason I put it in here. For what it's worth, it does make the rest of these potentially uncounterable. It pairs really nicely with Squash, because first things first, you get to make this cost only 1 when it's out, because -3 from the giant, and then minus an additional 1 from it being a CMC 5. And then it becomes an uncounterable kill spell when it's out, which is really dope. Also, it's a flying creature in a deck that doesn't have a lot of literal reach. Squash, it kills things. I trimmed this down to 2. I regret it immensely. I think this card should be at least a 3 of. It kills things, like stuff and junk. It's not bad. Like on turn 5, being able to just, I'm just going to play my Aegar and then kill something. Oh, I'm also going to draw a card from it. Like, that is crisp. And since it's an instant, you saw in that one game, you're able to have Uro. You cast the Uro down, even if you just top deck it, right? As long as you have that 5 mana, you can use this card before you have to sacrifice Uro. So that's just a really, really decent card. 3 Quakebringer. It deals damage from beyond the grave. It also means your opponent can't gain life, which is cool. Surtland Flinger. We sided this out every time. It was a late add to the deck. It's a 4/6, which is nice. You know, it does have some staying power. I guess staying toughness is the phrase for this situation. Anyway. And it can do some major damage, being able to just yeet a creature at your opponent. Like, if, for example, you have Calamity Bearer out. Let's say you have that situation, right? Like, you have Calamity Bearer out, you have Aegar out, you have Surtland Flinger, right? You attack. Surtland Flinger is going to go ahead and sack Aegar. Aegar is a giant, so it would deal twice that much damage, so it would deal 6. But oh no, it deals another double. It deals 12 damage, right? Like, that's just a single like attack sacking this. The thing is, you have to have multiple giants out. You're not gonna always have multiple giants out, so it doesn't work a lot. And because it sacrificed another, it means that you can't like get free 8 damage in, which is fair. Like, I think if they made it so you could sacrifice Surtland Flinger, that'd be pretty bad. Battle Frost and Fire. It's a board wipe. Kinda, sorta. It hits each non-giant creature and each planeswalker, which is very good. Being able to have some extra hit against planeswalkers is nice. You could compare this debatably favorably against what is the card? Storm's Wrath, because it deals 4 damage, but Storm's Wrath costs 4. It does cost double red, which is important, but also Storm's Wrath doesn't do the rest of the stuff, right? And it also hits your own creatures. Battle Frost and Fire doesn't hit Uro or Kroxa, but it doesn't actually matter because those cards would survive it anyway. You get a scry 3 on the second one. That's very helpful. You know, once you're in this late portion of the game, you really want to make sure you're getting the cards that you want when you want them. And then being able to cast one of your big spells and draw 2 cards and only discard 1 can be very helpful. Especially, like, you can draw 2 cards, discard 1 of them, and all of a sudden maybe you can escape Uro, right? Like, these are all potential synergies in the deck that you have to consider. Beanstalk Giant is great. Sure, it's not cultivate, like you don't get 2 lands, but the land that you get is put into play untapped, which is very important, right? Being able to on 4 mana use this, get a land, and then use a 2 mana spell, you know, Stomp, Invasion, Gross Power, what have you, is very strong. It's very powerful tempo play. And then of course, like late in the game, if you just need something, you have Beanstalk Giant, right? Like I don't think we played it once as Beanstalk Giant. We've only played Fertile Footsteps, but it's just there in your back pocket. This is the mana base. Probably could be better. Probably could have less of a drain on our life total. We do have a single Surtland Frostpyre. Maybe we could get away with playing 2 of these. I don't suggest trying 3. because it does make the mana base a lot slower, and you would need to keep the pain, I think. But being able to just like scry 2 and deal 2 damage to each creature is very helpful. It's only sorcerer speed, which is understandable, but being able to just have a land that acts as a board wipe is quite nice. In our sideboard, we got 2 Aether Gusts against Gruul. Essentially, Gruul is a very strong deck, so we want that. 2 Abrades, just in case we still see any like random artifact ramp shenanigans. We haven't seen like any of that on the ladder recently, but people like playing certain decks. It also just hits creatures, which is great. 3 Scoozes. A lot of graveyard decks running around. 3 Mystical Dispute against any deck that has blue in it, aka 50% of the decks. 2 Ravenform, it just gets rid of some annoying things that you want to deal with. 2 Giant's Grass, this essentially was a meme. Unfortunately, our creatures are susceptible to just being killed. Even though they're large, right, they still just die to the same type of Doomblade effects that everything else dies to. So this, when I was building this deck, members of the community just really wanted me to play this, so I obliged. It could be literally anything else, probably. And then an additional Battle of Frostpyre just for the cases where you need a little bit extra board wipe. It's probable that instead of Giant's Grass, we should probably be running Anger of the Gods. Anger of the Gods kills relatively few of our creatures. Namely, I believe it only kills these 2. And it allows us to cycle if we have to, more like instant speed stuff. But also is just a relatively early spell that we can very obviously pay for, considering the fact that we are primarily a red deck. And it just kills early game creatures. So that is the deck. I hope you've enjoyed it. I really liked playing. These last couple videos have been a ton of fun. I mean, like all of these really have been an absolute ton of fun, and I hope you've enjoyed them as well. I have a PO box. Feel free to send me things to it. I would like to thank my lovely patrons, especially Fogwind, Malik, and Balater, for the continued support. If you'd like to join them supporting the show, you can check out the description below, or you can just like, comment, subscribe. That stuff really helps out the show. And until next time, all be one.